social media show, the podcast for marketing, advertising, public relations, and communications professionals. This is episode number 147, recording live on YouTube on June 18, 2016. I am David Erickson. I'm with my co-host, BL Achman. This week's topics, tragic texts, a murder caught on Facebook Live, do-it-yourself video ads, hackable security cameras, Apple's biggest updates, the anti-gun filibuster caught on social media, Facebook says text is over, vulgarity for a good cause, Father's Day's CheerioChallenge, and lots more. BL, you always have the honors. What was the worst story?
Well, there was a lot to pick from this week in terms of bad news. I can't wait till we get to the CheerioChallenge. But right now on Facebook Live, there's a video that Facebook has determined they are not going to take down. And I first heard about this from Joan Stewart, the publicity hound, and then I saw stories by Perez Hilton, and I looked at it on Facebook as well. And there's a guy named Antonio Perkins. He was hanging out on Wednesday afternoon at in his neighborhood, it looked like, and he was suddenly, about 5 minutes into the half-hour video, shot dead. And it has since then gotten 225,000 likes and been viewed more than 1 million times on Facebook. It has a warning that there's graphic content, but shots ring out, he falls to the ground, he's dead. The video goes black, but his phone is still running, and it continues to run for 30 minutes with friends and family and police and screaming and crying and shouting. And this is just really horrifying. And the video was not taken down from Facebook, which I find surprising, and a company spokesperson said the video does not glorify death, so it doesn't violate the site's terms and policies. She said it would remove it if it had celebrated or glorified violence. And BBC pointed out it's the second time in 3 months in Chicago, where gun violence is out of control altogether, that a live stream shooting has been seen on Facebook. And an unidentified man in March was shot 16 times while broadcasting live. No arrests have been made in either case, and the video is there. And somehow I don't think that's what Mark Zuckerberg had in mind when he started Facebook Live. Yeah,
well, as I said before the show, this doesn't surprise me. I think it's probably inevitable that this would happen with you've got live streaming, and it's getting more and more prevalent. And people are live streaming events, and events occur, and tragedies occur, and it's sad that this happened. I don't know how to feel about Facebook's policy, whether or not they should remove the ad. I haven't really had time to process it, but it occurs to me that we as a society are far removed from death. In modern age, we don't see death much at all compared to our history as human beings, where we see death all the time. There weren't ambulances around all the time that came by and picked up dead bodies. So I guess there's something to be said for knowing, having an actual experience and realizing that it's out there. I don't know how to feel about it, but there you go.
I feel like they should take those down. I don't feel like they add anything to the discourse. I don't feel like they help anything in any way. I don't think they should stay live. That's my opinion.
Well, it could help the anti-gun or the gun control, pro-gun control forces.
You can only pray for that.
So anyway,
what's your bad news?
Speaking of cameras, yeah, there's an article by Quartz by Alice Trong about the security of webcams, and we've talked about this before in a previous episode. But this is a report on research from Protection One, which analyzed 6,000 video streams from the largest database of open surveillance feeds called INSECAM. It's INSECAM.org. The survey did not include unsecured feeds from like baby monitors and intimate spaces like bedrooms, but some of the findings: 5 states that had the most insecure security cameras: California, New York, Texas, Florida, Michigan. Where unsecured cameras are broadcasting from: outdoor parks, 21.6% of them from outdoors or parks. Parking lots, not surprisingly there, 21.2%. Homes, 15%, restaurants 10.5%, and offices 8.5%. The types of businesses with the most unsecured cameras: warehouses and industrial buildings at 38%, retail clothing stores at 35%, cafes at 20%, grocery stores at 4%, pharmacies at 2%. It's kind of, this highlights the massive security risks that are inherent with these unsecured webcams. Episode 127, we talked about the Shodan search engine, which is an open feed of unsecured cams, webcams. You can see baby cams, and there's smart home devices now that are proliferating with the Echo, and now Google has Home, and those things, if they're not secured, can easily be hackable, and people can get access to your actual home. So it's a huge public safety issue. There's larger issue of unsecured Internet of Things devices like police body cams. They're not typically secured. Devices regulating power plants that are connected to the internet, that somebody gets access to that.
You're scaring me here.
Well, it's something we need to think about. In so many instances, these devices are not secured. So
what would secure them? What is a secure one?
Well, the secure is just having a setting where you set a username and password at the very least. But if there's devices, these, as Internet of Things devices proliferate, we've got to make sure they're secure, so they can't be hacked. I mean, anyway, what can you do to protect yourself? Well, not much in terms of that stuff, but my favorite thing is the Post-it note. Put the Post-it note over your camera.
Yeah, we're gone.
I got that idea from a colleague of mine who I saw had it, and I kind of chuckled when I saw it. And then, like 2 weeks later, I was watching the X-Files, and Mulder had it. Was doing the same thing, and like, all right, if it's good enough for Mulder, he's paranoid enough, I probably should do it myself.
That's why I call mine the Mulder, because you told me that. Yeah. So I put my Mulder up there. So, oh God, that's really very frightening. But back to Facebook. Facebook forecasted the end of text in 5 years. And my friend Ann Handley, who's one of the best writers on the planet and therefore one of the best creators of text, wrote a post called "Calling BS" on Facebook's edict that writing is dead. And, she said text is the best way to tell stories in this world where so much information is, it's Nicole, the best way to tell a story. And more information in a quicker period. So actually the trend helps us digest more information. She says in 5 years, Facebook will be definitely mobile. It'll probably be all video. Stats show that the written word, she said, is becoming obsolete, replaced by hipper, accessible images and videos. Facebook says videos are driving 13.2 times as much chatter as they did a year ago, and 100 million hours of video are being viewed daily. Facebook users are also sharing triple the amount of video in 2016 they did in 2015. She did throw writers a bone, and Handley pointed out. She said, words are disappearing, save for the fact that you'll have to write for video. Then Ann said, did you catch that? Have to. So TechCrunch said, in order to try and condition and concentrate users' attentions on eyeballs on consuming video, Facebook algorithmically programs videos and demotes text-based content by doing so. They prevent users from seeing text. So they're creating those numbers. And it's not that humans are getting bored with words. It's that Facebook is throwing the levers to control and carve out space for video consumption, because they have a highly engaged, rich arena, and they've got a huge investment. So, publishers who've been placing their written words on Facebook's platform via instant articles, take note. Facebook doesn't care for your words.
Yeah, I don't know if it's going to be 5 years before the text is obsolete, but I've been saying for a long time. I think we're at the end of the age of literacy. That because content is, I mean, because we can have our content consumed in ways that are much more efficient than actual reading, which is audio and video. That I could see for a time when literacy wouldn't be needed. That
Well,
you if
different areas of your brain are used for print and for video, and the way that you comprehend is different when you're looking at video, and your attention span is different. They're two different things. Print is not going away.
Well, I don't know that it's going away anytime soon, but it wouldn't surprise me if it did eventually, simply because it's just far more efficient way of. I love writing. I write all the time, but oh my God, if I could just be able to dictate stuff and not actually type, I could be much more prolific.
You
So,
can. You can use Google's voice, you know, you can use Siri. I mean, there's a lot of reasons that you don't have to type, but you still want to have words. And what I've noticed lately, in about the last month, is that videos are annotated now. You know, there's type all over videos because the vast majority of people are watching videos with the sound off. Why is that? Because they're at work and they're not supposed to be watching videos. So in order to compensate for that, you have to put text on the videos and hope that you intrigue people enough that they'll turn on the sound. But, you know, so people aren't really digesting video. It's a thorny issue, I gotta say.
no, yeah, no. Well, speaking of text, this is a Washington Post story by Jessica Contrera and a couple of Caitlins, Caitlin Gibson and Caitlin Dewey. It's a very powerful story about how we say goodbye now in the wake of tragedies, and it was written on the on the heels of the Orlando shooting. In the story, they mention in 1944, a Hungarian poet was executed after brutal forced march by Nazi soldiers and then buried in a mass grave. A year and a half later, his body was exhumed, and they found in his in a coat pocket poems, one of which was addressed to his wife, that said, in part, "When may I see you? I hardly know any longer." Very tragic, but obviously writing poems as he knew he faced certain death. In 1985, as pilots attempted to steer a disabled jet for Japan Airlines Flight 123, passengers wrote their last notes. One of which said, "The plane is turning around and descending rapidly. I'm grateful for the truly happy life I enjoyed until now." So these types of messages have been done, but until recently, they were received by their loved ones, by their intended recipients, only after the fact that they died. Right. United Airlines Flight 175 passenger Brian Sweeney left a voicemail for his wife on September 11, 2001. It said, "I'm on a plane that's been hijacked. If things don't go well, it's just not looking good. I just want you to know I absolutely love you." So there's an instance of technology, us being able to react to knowing our impending demise and leaving messages for our loved ones. But now we have the technology to communicate as a tragedy is unfolding. As we saw with the Facebook post last week that we talked about, that was the Pulse nightclub sent for their patrons, and now we're seeing patrons from the Pulse nightclub and the text that they sent to their loved ones, one of which was Eddie Justice's text to his mother. It's absolutely heartbreaking. There's a screenshot of the text in the story where he's texting his mother and telling her that he's in the club and there's a shooting going on, that he's trapped in the bathroom, that he's telling his mom to call the authorities, and he's coming, I'm going to die. It's just absolutely tragic, but it's a matter of time before, as I had in the show notes before you added this story on Facebook, capturing murder on Facebook Live, that it's only a matter of time before someone live streams these tragedies.
I'm astounded that nobody has, really.
Yeah.
And yeah, those are heartbreaking. And I think one of the saddest stories that came out of it was the woman who didn't know, I can't recall her name. Her name was Christina, but I can't recall his name. She could not find out until the next day what had happened to her son, and he had texted her, and everybody was trying to help her to find out, and he was laying dead on the floor, and he had texted her and said, there's a shooting going on, and I mean it's awful.
Yeah.
Yeah. So much less important, but there's a little bit, this is from a story by Amy Core in her wonderful weekly Out to Launch, where she covers new campaigns. And this is Mr. Seed, and he's gratuitously vulgar for reasons I'll never understand. It's about, he represents seedmatters.org. It's an initiative from the Cliff Bar Family Foundation, the candy protein bars. And so it's an animated short, and he tells us our local food system is fucked, but we can fix it. And then he goes on for 5 minutes with a whole potty mouth thing about organic seeds and, how horrible large agrochemical companies are, which they are, and that the only option to feeding the world is him. And he emphasizes the benefits of organic seeds. And, then he reads the Kama Sidra while he talks about breeding organic seeds. And he's just, he's basically disgusting. But I look at Seed Matters, and they have graduate fellowships that fund students who want to learn about organic farming and organic growing. They train farmers who want to grow organically. They have community seed resources. They provide tools and gardening in communities, and organizers who want to have community-based seed events, exchanges, seed libraries. These are all wonderful things, and they encourage and they support community seed projects. So what do they need this vulgar thing for? He's gross. He's really gross.
Yeah, he probably doesn't get a lot of traction on Facebook video, though, because if somebody does turn on the sound, they're probably going to turn it off right away anyway.
No, I mean, he really, he's ugly and he's gross. I can't figure it out because it's such a great campaign, like vulgar for a good cause. Go figure. Are you done with bad news?
I am. Yep.
Okay, good. Let's go on to better news. You want to start?
Sure. The big news of the past week was Microsoft buying LinkedIn. So a lot of places reported on this. Microsoft bought LinkedIn for $26.5 billion. Here's an article by on PC Magazine by Juan Martinez, which gets at sort of what the things that Microsoft can do with LinkedIn. So what does Microsoft get? You get obviously LinkedIn. That's 433 registered users that LinkedIn has. They get direct access to IT decision makers. Microsoft is a technology company. They sell technology to IT decision makers. So there's that. There's a ton of integration opportunities. Microsoft Dynamics is a customer relationship management component software that Microsoft has. So there's a lot of obvious integration they could have with that. Office 365 integration. I mean, it's a no-brainer for integrating LinkedIn into Outlook. They have Skype and Cortana, so integrating Skype and Cortana into LinkedIn makes a lot of sense. They've got HoloLens, so eventually, I mean, virtual reality type of business conferencing things you could do. They've got lynda.com they acquired in the LinkedIn purchase. So that's a training platform. They can obviously use that for training people to use their own products. More importantly, I think, though, is that if they've got a pulse on the market, on the talent market, so they can gain insights and learn about trends from about what kind of solutions businesses are looking for based on like job postings. So everybody posts their job postings to LinkedIn. They'll have a heads up on what kind of talent people are looking for and can understand what kind of solutions, technological solutions, company might be having before anybody else does. More importantly, the online behavior LinkedIn members themselves. So what kind of content is being shared and published on there, and then they've got Bing, so they can integrate that insight into their search results. What LinkedIn gets: growth, They get growth. I mean, think about it. They can have now LinkedIn can be pre-installed with Surface Books and tablets. It can come bundled with Xbox and with Windows 10. I did note that the deck for the announcement that the presentation deck they used for the announcement was hosted at Scribed and not on SlideShare, which you would think because LinkedIn owns SlideShare, so kind of a PR faux pas there, but big news.
It is big news and it's big money, and it remains to be seen, how that integration really goes.
It does.
Microsoft has been a little clunky with things like this in the past.
Yep.
And LinkedIn has some clunkiness issues as well. So, maybe this will help them both solve it. And, there's also been speculation that because LinkedIn got acquired, that Twitter's next. And, we've been saying for a long time, Google's going to buy Twitter, and I still think that they will. So we'll see how that one goes.
Twitter's primed for being bought. They just invested 70 million in SoundCloud too. So there's a connection there. I think, yeah, would love it if Google.
SoundCloud. SoundCloud is my new favorite. So the other great thing that happened this week, I thought, was Democratic Senator Chris Murphy and other Democrats, led by Senator Murphy, filibustered for 15 hours and tweeted live about gun control. It was also live streamed on C-SPAN, and he wants the Senate to vote on a measure banning anyone, this is such common sense, on the no-fly list from Senator Bill Nelson of Florida, Elizabeth Warren, and others joined him on the floor. The Senate said that they would vote. Of course, nothing's happened yet, but we're hoping that it will. At least they're talking about it.
Yeah, so there's a absolutely adorable story in The Guardian this week by Oliver Holmes about a British grandma and her use of Google.
I love this story.
There's a British grandma who uses pleases and thank yous in her search queries. So she will type out her search in the Google search box, and she will say, please give me this, or please give me whatever she wants, and then thank you afterwards. The reason she was doing that is she thought there was somebody at Google, an actual person at Google, who was in charge of the search results and actually responding to search queries. Her son discovered this and tweeted a screenshot of her searches, and Google discovered that and responded that of the zillions of queries, hers made them smile, and that tweet has been retweeted like 30,000 times or something. But just absolutely adorable story. So.
Yeah, they were like, "Dear Nana, thank you so much." It was really sweet. Yeah. So the other big news this week was Apple's announcements at their conference, and I mean, there were so many. 13 of them were rather big. I first read about it in The Verge in a story that was covered by Ashley Carmen, Josh, I think you say Daziza, and Michael Zelenko. And I guess the biggest thing is that the operating system is going to be now called, which makes, instead of OS 10, it's going to be called Mac operating system. What a good idea. And Siri is going to be part of it. And they're changing the name to make it simpler. Siri's coming to the desktop. The latest version, Mac OS, is going to be called Sierra. And the focus is going to be on continuity. And if you were wearing an Apple Watch, you could automatically unlock your laptop just by having the watch nearby. It's kind of neat. There's a universal clipboard. This I like a lot. There's a universal clipboard that lets you copy text from your phone and paste it on your computer, and an iCloud drive that helps you, this is really important, offload older files to make room for newer documents. I ran into this issue just last week. My computer's now half empty because I did that. Mac Sierra brings Apple Pay to the desktop, and you're able to authenticate payment through your Apple Watch or iPhone. Again, continuity, and great if you have all the Apple gadgets. But one of the fun things is that iMessage gets an update with invisible ink, and you can tap or emojis are bigger, 3 times bigger, so you can see them. I applaud that one in particular. I like not having to put on my freaking glasses just to look at my phone.
Yeah, the other stuff that they announced was they will be accepting advertising for the App Store. So they're going to be accepting search ads for the App Store. And they've released an API, or an artificial intelligence API, that they are apparently open sourcing. So it kind of begs the question: what's your stance on advertising and privacy again, Apple?
Well, there is no privacy. Come on. I mean,
That's what their stance has always been. We're protecting your privacy.
well,
We're
you know, Google
never
said
going to
that
accept
too. It's a little
advertising.
lie. It's a lie. Nobody's protecting your privacy. You gave away your privacy. I've been saying this forever. The day you got your first telephone, your first credit card, your first bank account, it's all gone. It's all gone. I mean, we gave it all away. We haven't protected it.
I'm not
And
arguing we haven't. I'm saying Apple is the big protector of
well,
privacy and
so
the big
was
protector of...
Google, and they're all full of it, you know? So the other thing that came up this week, and I made this video in which I look so hideous to preview the show, was YouTube Director. And it's basically, it's a suite of video ad creation products for businesses. And the official YouTube blog announced it, you know, breathlessly as usual. And so I tried it, and they claim that in 20 minutes you can shoot, edit, and upload an ad for your small business on onto YouTube. It's integrated. Well, not so fast. They say you don't need any editing experience. It has a number of templates. It's got music. It's got editing tools with your finger. Your finger is not a very accurate editing tool. I really gave up on that pretty quickly. And it's free, you know. But the thing that's really spectacular about it is that if you buy $150 worth of advertising on YouTube, they will send a professional filmmaker to shoot and edit a video ad in your place of business. And it's available in Atlanta, Boston, Chicago, Los Angeles, San Francisco, and DC, and it's coming to more cities. So I made this little ad. You know, they give you directions and they tell you exactly how long each part of your video should be. So I did a promo for our show this week, and I did it without lights or makeup. I was trying to figure out like what, you know, the average small business owner might do with the app, you know, with their iPhone. And then they have these, and I look horrible, I really do. But, you know, it's for science. But I'm taking that thing down after this, but anyway, you know, I couldn't find a way to add titles to it until I went to YouTube. So it's meant to create advertising, but you know, there's no reason that you can't just use it to create videos. And it's kind of like Snapchat. If you use Snapchat or other video apps, you know, Meerkat, whatever, it's kind of like that. But you know, just as what happened with Blab, where you had all these poorly lit, terrible sound videos with people who are kind of babbling, the same thing will happen here. So the examples they have, one of them is a guy who owns a barber shop, and it looks like a great barber shop, and it's a video, you know, that's like beautifully lit of a customer in a chair, and he did not shoot that by himself, and he did not do it in 20 minutes, and he did not edit that by himself, and there's no way you're making me believe that. So I don't know why you even want to say it, Google, you know. And like the question that is not answered, and I want an answer to this, is who's paying those poor filmmakers who are going to the places? I mean, I hope Google's paying them, but the last go round I had with Google and a paid platform, they were not paying us. They were telling us that we were going to get exposure. That was a lie. So I don't trust you anymore, Google. I don't freaking trust you anymore. But I use the app, and you know, you could have fun with it if you know what you're doing.
All right. Well, speaking of mobile apps, Snapchat is in the news, not because of their mobile app, but because they are launching a digital lifestyle magazine. This is from a Next Web article by Abhimanyu Ghoshal online. reallifemag.com is the site. It's a website devoted to lifestyle topics. I find it fascinating that Snapchat is launching a web version, content marketing. Clearly, this is a content marketing play. Apparently, maybe their discovery tools aren't so great, and they need to build some web presence and search traffic to get more people to adopt Snapchat or something. Don't know exactly what they're trying to do with it, but the king of ephemeral content is getting into the permanent content business.
It's all a little confusing to me this week. So another thing that launched that I find astoundingly cool is Great Big Story. It's not brand new, but it's new to me. It's a video network that's dedicated to untold, overlooked, and flat out mind-blowing things that human beings are capable of doing. And I believe it's Business Insider that launched it, but they have a YouTube channel, they're on Twitter, and the video that just grabbed me, I mean, you can't stop watching it, is this woman who does this, I forgot what it's called, alpine climbing. Like, she goes up to the highest mountains and she walks from one to the next on a rope. I mean, there is no such thing as a net below, because below is like 100,000 feet. And she says, this really makes her feel happy. It made me feel like I was going to have a heart attack just watching her. But, and it has, there were just, I mean, once you start, you can't stop watching this channel. So you must take a look.
All good. So are we done with the good stuff on the shiny new stuff?
No. Father's Day, the Cheerio Challenge.
There we go.
Some daddy had, some bored daddy saw his little sleeping baby and piled Cheerios on the kid's nose and took a picture of it. It's the most adorable thing you ever saw in your life. And he puts it on Twitter, and of course the contest begins, and the biggest stack I've seen is 9 Cheerios on the kid's face, and some babies sleep on their stomach, so like the daddy put it on their arm. But I mean, they're just adorable. Sleeping babies are adorable, and there's scores and scores of them. It's quite hilarious. You must see it.
I used to not be able to stand babies and Cheerios because I worked at a restaurant and I'd find crushed Cheerios on the floor all the time. Like, where the hell are these Cheerios coming from?
I had a friend.
Little kids and their Cheerios, or bags of Cheerios.
Oh, they're so cute. Then I have a friend who designs clothes for children, and she has a little Cheerios pocket in the clothes, which I've always thought was adorable. I am looking out the window at the full moon. Boy, this is really drawing me outside. Oh,
there we go.
So that brings us to shiny stuff. Yes,
it does indeed. So I got post snippets for WordPress. It's a WordPress plugin that is fantastic. It's very simple, and what it does is if you have reusable bits of code or copy that you use over and over again, like I have calls to action buttons that I use frequently on posts, or tweet this functionality, that you can set post snippets to just write that code in it, and then it will, when you go to the post editing feature, it adds a little post snippet button that you can click on and click on the code block that you want and insert it directly where you want it into your blog post. You don't have to type out all that code over and over and over again, or copy and paste that code over and over again. You just set it and use it whenever you need it.
That's pretty cool. The other one that is pretty cool is Adobe's free Color CC, and it's a color scheme finder. So it helps you find complementary colors for visual content, which is really hard. And so they take the guesswork out of picking colors that actually are going to look good together, which, so much of the internet is so ugly. So anything that helps to make it prettier is something that I like. And I can't wait to play with this one.
Very cool. I got another one, VidIQ Chrome extension. You can find it at vidiq.com. It gives analytics related to a individual YouTube video you're watching. So you install the plugin, go to a YouTube watch page for a particular video, and then the video IQ data will appear embedded in the upper right-hand corner of the YouTube watch page. So the VidIQ data includes their own score, which is an out of 100 score on the likelihood of that video being promoted in related videos, search, and recommended videos. So they've got their own algorithm working there. But then also you can see the number of views that video has had, the minutes watched, the average view percentage, the subscriptions that were driven by that video, the description word count and link count, the number of creator suggested links that are associated with that video on the watch page, tags and search rankings for those tags, a search score stat. So when you search in YouTube, it'll give you statistics for that search. And it has an advanced embedding functionality. So you can embed a video using additional advanced features that YouTube has but doesn't enable on their own embedding code, which includes autoplay enabled. So if you want to embed a video and have it autoplayed, you can hide the YouTube logo on your video. You can play a video from one point in the video to another point. So for our show, I could embed just a segment that we talked about rather than the whole podcast. So
well, that's
cool.
so cool, because I spend hours, like cutting things up to do that. That's very cool. Is that free?
It is free. There are pro versions, I think, starting at $10 a month and going up. But
I can't wait.
All that functionality is free.
I can't wait. Dave, I don't know if you saw it, but we had almost 6,000 views of our video last week.
It did. That's newsjacking in action right there. I changed the title to be Orlando nightclub shooting, and because that's what we let our podcast off with, and because it was coming the day after the nightclub shooting, a lot of people are searching for that, and found our video as a result. So yeah, I saw that.
Keep doing that. Going to do more of that. Okay, that brings us to your daily numbers.
It does, unless you want to talk about your project.
Well, the project that I did was the video for the show. So if you don't see it tonight, you're never going to see it, because I'm taking it.
Let me talk about my project briefly then. I got a blog post for my agency's blog on 19 marketing lessons from the bands that are playing at this year's Basilica Block Party, which is a local musical event that's been going on for more than 20 years, and we do PR for. So 3 of the lessons I'll share here. Lead magnet. Leading with your lead magnet. So Death Cab for Cutie, the band Death Cab for Cutie, does this with their latest music video. So if you go to the website, there's a pop-up window that shows front and center their latest musical video that you can watch from there. And then they've got that same music video pinned to the top of their Facebook and Twitter feeds, which obviously that's a lead magnet for a band. If you like that music, then you'll probably be more likely to buy a full album. Another one is cause marketing. So American Authors is using cause marketing. They've got an upcoming video that's addressing gun violence. They're advocating for gun control. This video teaser for their upcoming music video was posted on June 2, so well before Orlando, but obviously it is a topic that comes up frequently in American life, and they're taking a strong stand. They believe that, so that's something that people follow if they agree with it, obviously. But then finally, consistent look and feel. So the band The Fray uses on their Twitter feed very artistic black and white photography and video that they shoot themselves and upload directly to Twitter and share on Twitter, and it gives their Twitter feed a really unique look and feel. So
what a good idea that is. Yeah. I love black and white photography. Yeah. I really do. And it's what I did when I used the camera. I haven't actually used my camera in a long time, like most people, Yeah. But anyway, that brings us to your
daily numbers, quick and fast. The olds are coming to Snapchat. This is from a Quartz article, and they've got a chart that shows that the old people are coming to Snapchat. Oh no! The numbers are 16 million users aged 25 to 44. So apparently, millennials and Xers are the olds. But,
my.
Yeah, you're a boomer. 16 million users aged 25 to 44 are on Snapchat. That's up from 8 million in 2014. So
Oh, let me know when that got old.
Yeah.
So anyway, that does bring us to the end of episode 147 of the Beyond Social Media Show. The links to everything we talked about will be on our blog, the BeyondSocialMediaShow.com, number 146, 147 rather. We hope you'll let us know what you think about the show by leaving us a review at BeyondSocialMediaShow.com/love. David Erickson can be found on Twitter at D. Erickson. He blogs at eStrategyBlog.com and CreativePR.com blog, both of which you really should read. They are fantastic. I'm BL Ackman. I am at What's Next on Twitter. I blog at What's Next blog. I work at maximum-plus.com for all things live streaming video and video production. The show, BeyondSocialMediaShow.com, is our blog. We are at BS Media Show on Twitter, and you can subscribe to our newsletter on our blog, and we will be back at our regular time, which is 7 p.m. on Sunday next week. And we thank you for watching tonight, and we look forward to seeing you next week.
Thanks for watching.